Hi everyone, Miss Wilson here. I hope you're all okay. Today is Wednesday, the 24th of February 2021. Today we are going to correct the sentence and then I'm going to reveal the front cover of our new book. Then we are going to think like science writers. You will need your pencil, your home learning book and also the facts that you wrote down in yesterday's lesson. So pause now and grab those things. Okay, let's begin with the correct the sentence. There are 3 mistakes in this sentence. Let's read it together. Start with my sentence, the. The author of the book is called Isabel. The author of the book is called Isabel. There are 3 mistakes in that sentence. Pause now and see if you can find them all. Okay, did you manage to find all 3? Let's have a look. The first mistake is that I did not start my sentence with a capital letter. So hopefully you spotted that straight away and fixed it to a capital letter. My next mistake is that when I turned call into the past tense of called, I added a t for called. But we know that we have to add ed, we have to add ed to make things past tense, called. And my last mistake was that the name Isabel did not have a capital letter, so I have fixed that there. Remember, a name is a noun and it's a proper noun and it needs a capital letter. Okay, it's time to reveal the front cover of our book. Let's have a look.
Here is the front cover of our book. This must be the title, Moth. What do you like about this front cover? If I move the front cover around, notice how there's foil on it, so it makes it all nice and shiny. It almost looks like the moth is flying. Wow, how does that make you feel about moths? It makes me really intrigued. It makes me think that I quite like moths. I think they're beautiful. Look at the way the light is catching on their wings. What does it tell you about how the author or the illustrator might feel about moths? They must quite like moths, mustn't they? Do you think this book is fiction or non-fiction? Do you think it contains facts or do you think it is a storybook? What makes you think that? I think it might be a fact book because I notice that it doesn't say moths. It just says moth, so I think it's a fact book about this one moth. But I also spot the word story here, an evolution story. Maybe it's fact and fiction. I can't wait to find out. This is the author, she's called Isabel Thomas, and this is the illustrator, Daniel Egnus. And they've worked together to make this beautiful front cover on this book. We're now going to take a look at some other work that Isabel Thomas has done, some other books that she's written.
So the author, Isabel Thomas, has written loads of books and I've put a few of them on the screen here. Here's our moth book. This one looks really similar, doesn't it? It's called Fox. Ooh, it's got the same illustrator. That must be why they look familiar. She's got books all about water, about wind, about the climate, about space, about animals. Wow, it looks like she writes a lot of books all about the world around us. That makes me think that she is a non-fiction writer, and she writes about science. She's a science writer. So maybe that's a clue that our moth story might be non-fiction. A non-fiction book is a book that tells you facts and information about the world all around you. The things in it are true. It is not a made-up story from someone's head. They might have turned it into a story, but everything in it is true. Time to have a look at the first page.
Let's open up our book and see what is inside. The first thing I can see, a moth. This looks like the picture of the moth that we've been looking at. It's all alone on this one page. Notice how it's facing this way, like it wants me to go this way and wants me to turn the page. What a clever thing for the illustrator to do. I wonder where the moth came from and why there's nothing here. What would you put in this empty space? Would you have left it blank like this illustrator, or would you have filled the page? Have a think now. They must have left it blank for a reason. I can't wait to turn the page and find out where this moth is going to take us.
So we today are going to act like Isabel Thomas, and we are going to start to become science writers. So over the next week, we're going to do a few things to help us become science writers, and at the end of the 2 weeks, we are going to write our own bit of science writing about moths. So the first thing we need to do is work out what we already know about moths. So you are going to split your page into 2 down the middle. And on this side, you are going to write what you already know about moths. This is where your notes from yesterday will help you, because we found out lots of facts about moths, didn't we? You might also know some of your own. When you've done that on this side, you're going to think about what you want to know about moths. So for example, I found out yesterday that moths come out during the night time. And I finished that sentence with a full stop because that is a fact. Moths come out during the night time. It's a sentence, it's a fact, it's a full stop. But what I want to know is, why do moths not come out during the day? I've asked a question. I've used the question word why, and I finished with a question mark. So write what you already know about moths, and then what you want to know about moths in the form of a question. So using question words and question marks. When you've done that, there is a challenge. How could we find the answers out to these questions? So I want to know, why do moths not come out during the day? How could I go and find out the answer to that question? There's a few things I could do. That's your challenge, to think about and write down how we could find out the answer. Don't answer the questions yet. Just think about how you could find out the answer. I'm looking for you using the correct punctuation. So sentences ending in a full stop, question marks ending in a question mark, and I'm looking for you using question words. Who, what, how, when, where, and why. I used why in mine because I wanted to find something out. So good luck, science writers. Write down what you already know, what you want to know, and give the challenge a go as well.